In the world of anime, there is one genre which has been vilified and hated beyond its limits. Dragged in the mud by its own creators, which anime producers look at and go, "Hey random studios, I'm giving you $10 to animate this entire thing in 7 months because we've already announced it and this project is the only thing that might keep you relevant for the future." Yes, the genre I'm referring to is Isekai. Pretty sure you caught up way earlier. Isekai is like a first-person shooter game to me because in this day and age, both of these are copy and paste of their competition. Their creators are not willing to fix any of the stupid issues with their product, and both of them are being used as cash grabs over once successful titles. So where does Isekai Cheat Magician make its place in this entire mess? Well, after watching this entire shit show, I can wholeheartedly say that it's at the bottom of the pile. Isekai Cheat Magician might be the most insulting anime that I have ever watched. Never have I consumed a piece of fiction that has insulted my intelligence and has also made me fall sick for a week. I hate this show with a passion and will now dissect and possibly rip it to shreds. So join me on this hellish ride. The story starts off with Taichi and Rin, who are headed to school but are then teleported to a different world when some girl summons a Silent Hill symbol. After waking up in the middle of nowhere, they are greeted by everyone's favorite Berserk character, but too bad he dies when 3 random adventurers kill it. I should also mention that there is this really awkward and boring romantic tension between Taichi and Rin that I didn't give a shit about. So the next day, Taichi and Rin decide to join the Adventurers Guild because that's the only way for them to defend themselves in this fantasy world. However, in order to sign up, they must identify their magic capabilities. So after some over-exaggerated conversation, they bring out the guild master who tells the two that at this moment they cannot register for the guild, and that this girl, Miura, will lead the two to a woman called Lemia who is very important for no specific reason. So here Taichi and Rin find out that they are extremely strong. Actually, they are so strong that with their magic capabilities, if they wish, they could destroy an entire nation. Lemia offers Taichi and Rin to become her students, and after taking up on this offer, Taichi and Rin find their path clear to get strong enough to find the person who summoned them in the first place so that they can go back to their own world. This is everything I could compile from the first 2 episodes, and I am not surprised if you're bored right now. The show is like a massive fart that you take in the class when you're paired with a girl, but this doesn't even scratch the surface of what's about to happen, so let's move on. The training arc of Taichi and Rin ends quicker than my patience for Amy Schumer jokes, which is when the two are handed their first commission. They have to investigate the reason behind the decline of the goods supply, which has affected everything currently available in the market. The hints lead them to a small tavern where they introduce themselves in the most embarrassing possible way and get turned down when they asked for some of the goods they stole for exchange of some good money. Now this is where my favorite fight of the show takes place, but I'm not so sure I won't be hit with a copyright claim like last time, so I'm gonna try showing it to you guys. But if YouTube doesn't let me, then I'll just leave the episode and the time of the fight on the screen instead. Yeah, that's it. Trust me when I tell you that this is the biggest favor that the series is doing to you when it comes to the fights, because everything that I had to sit through after this was mind-numbing. The focus then shifts over to introduce our antagonist in the story, and spoiler alert, it's this guy. It turns out that he was responsible of the stolen goods commission that Taichi and Rin were investigating earlier. His grand plan is to steal the supply of goods and take over the entire town with his army of brain-dead goblins. However, this plan is super dumb when you actually think about it. The cycle of production automatically breaks when people aren't able to buy anything. Furthermore, it diminishes the value of their currency when the producers get no source of income and no amount to invest to produce more goods. The goblins, on the other hand, were summoned by these 2 kids, who were also attacked by them once they lost control over them after their divination ball broke. So, with a plan which will ultimately fail and with no backup support, how would things play out for them? A giant talking dragon, baby! Woo! Let's go! If you think I cut something from the middle of this video, then no, it's just that. The story has no proper transition from point A to point B and ends up resolving absolutely nothing in the result. Although Taichi and Rin do manage to win the fights, they still have no information about who summoned them, how they can go back, or who was behind this entire scheme against the town. Oh, I should also mention about this long-ass fight between Taichi and the talking dragon from earlier and how much of a massive drag it was. In episode 3, Taichi and Rin face off a bunch of ninjas, beat their asses and then captured one of them. After leaving the ninja in the hands of the Adventurers Guild, the ninja decides to join their side and aid Taichi in the upcoming battles. However, during the fight with the talking dragon, she is hit with an attack and proceeds to die. And that's when Taichi gets 10 minutes to this stupid ass power up which one-shots the dragon and saves the day. But now the story reveals that the guy who orchestrated this entire situation is actually just a pawn for a woman who is the real antagonist of this show. The issue becomes their lack of knowledge of any of the previous plot points. So the story decides to shift the entire focus to a civil war between two brothers of the royal family. I also love how Taichi and Rin don't have any say in whether they want to join a battle or not. They just follow Lemia and Miura to whatever the hell they say and make no decision with their own understanding. This mindset makes them join the king, but then it's revealed that the daughter of the king is actually the person who summoned Taichi and Rin in this world. The series just throws random bullshit at the audience by completely nullifying the entire premise setup at the beginning. The show also does a horrible job at explaining many details which could be used for background and context. For example, all the way in episode 10, they introduce a magic object which has an evil genie inside of it. And the genie doesn't even say nor do anything. It just comes out and the characters go, "We must defeat it or the entire city will be in grave danger," only based on how it looks like. I'm also going to do the favor of skipping over the entire detail of the Civil War because it has no significance over the entire story. All that you need to know is that near the end of the show, the woman who was introduced as the antagonist is responsible for orchestrating this entire civil war and for having Taichi and Rin summoned here. Her grand plan is to make Taichi her ultimate weapon which would help her take over this entire world. Which brings me to question, wouldn't she achieve this easily if she hadn't summoned Taichi in the first place? We don't see the extent of her powers and nor does she ever make a reveal in front of any of the main characters. Taichi has only been ruining her plan by becoming stronger and defeating every opponent thrown at him, and there is no guarantee whether or not he will join her side at the end. The story is so retarded, it makes no sense and pushed me to my limits with every episode. Our final fight isn't even with the antagonist introduced earlier in the story. Instead, we are catfished with this low-rated ass Meruem and the show concludes with Taichi and Rin still stuck in this fantasy world. They don't achieve their primary goal of returning to their world because the princess goes, "Yeah, I can't really send anyone back right now. I hadn't thought that through when I was bringing you guys here." And Taichi and Rin don't even give a shit anymore, and it's probably because no one gives a shit about them in the real world. The show ended with no resolution and left me with nothing but headaches and despair in the end. I am only glad that this show has ended and can only pray to God that it never gets a continuation. Hey, this video took forever to make and I had it originally set as a 50 sub special video, but since I am way too late here, you could count this as a special 100 subs video. That obligatory thank you video was made in a very short time because I was working on this and the mastery video simultaneously, and my editing process is really complicated right now, but hopefully things will get back to normal after this one. So thank you for watching my dog shit content. Leave a like or dislike based on your gender preference and I will see you guys next time.